Welcome back to the Hoops Report on Pittsburgh Sports Now. I'm George Michalowski, your host here with PSN. Today's Thursday, January 2nd, and the winning has continued in Pittsburgh men's basketball. Duquesne picked up a massive win earlier in the week against Rhode Island, who came into that game 11-1. Now Pitt yesterday picks up that crucial win over Cal. Another big time win for Pitt to keep their winning streak going. It was important because it was without Ish Leggett. It was without who Jeff Capel described as, okay, yeah, leading scorer for this team, best defender. That's how Capel described him. And it was a big comeback. I mean, they were down 16 points in that first half after some scoreless stints, after a pretty solid start from Cal. Uh, Pitt's defense tightened up. The offense got going. Jaland Lowe was Jaland Lowe. I mean, guys, he's been spectacular this season. No other way around it. If you have a son who is a point guard and you're watching this show, you've got to sit him down tonight and show him Jaland Lowe's highlights. I got it on my Twitter and show him how to play point guard because this guy was 8 for 8 from the free throw line. He got to the free throw line frequently. He had 8 assists and he had 27 points. He was spectacular against Cal like he has been all season long. And this time he had more weight on his shoulders with Ish and Dame being out. Yeah, Pitt was a 14-point favorite, but that was before, that news of Ish came out. I mean, this team battled through that. They were missing two of their big time leaders, their vets, their talented guards who can score. I mean, the points that this team was missing 30 plus points of production in this game. And Jalen led the way. Beba Cummings once again solid off the bench. And Cam Corrin, man, I mean, Cam, that second half effort he put in, he finished with 19 points, 11 rebounds. His rebounding, I really was a fan of on Wednesday. 4 offensive boards, I believe. He just had a great game all around. That one post move he had where he got the ball, man, without hesitation, felt the leverage on his defender and spun right around him for the slam. You could tell. You could tell that one meant a lot to Cam. He talked about it in the post game, how he was jacked up for this one. And it's going to be big for him. I mean, he was 7 of 8 from the field. Like, that's huge for Pitt to have a big man that can do that can score in different ways. That's the thing that I love about Cam Corrin is like 2 of his shots were jumpers. He had a floater over his defender who was he was falling into his defender there at the end in the second half. And then he had those post moves. He had a spin around. He had an alley-oop finish. Like, this guy can do a lot of different things that we haven't seen in a few years. And even if, sure, he gets 2 jumpers today, and even if Saturday's game against Stanford, he has 1 jumper, like, having that in your bag, having that as a threat is going to draw the defense out further. It's going to draw some doubles. It's going to draw some attention from teams with smaller bigs, with less athletic bigs. So I know we're not going to see as much of that going into ACC play now, but man, Cam Corrin, I know he's had some struggles scoring wise earlier in the season, but as Jeff Capel explained in that post game press conference, like, look, he does a lot of different things well aside from scoring the ball. His passing has been solid. Again, yesterday, that defense and his rebounding, really big keys to the win. So big win for Pitt. Let's go back to that Duquesne win. I mean, we're looking at a Duquesne team who was nearly 300th in the net rankings on December 12th. Tweeted this one out yesterday. Now they're up in the top 180. I mean, that is a monumental shift in the perception nationally of this team. And it's because of these 4 straight wins. I mean, look, that UC Irvine win that Duquesne has, that would look good on a high major team's resume trying to make the NCAA tournament. That is an unbelievable win. And that kind of slipped under the radar because Duquesne had struggled so badly. They lost to Maine right before it. Like, you didn't know if this team was actually legit, could build on that. But what we've seen from Drew Joyce's squad in those last 4 games shows me like this team can compete in the A10. Obviously, Rhode Island's non-conference strength of schedule, not there. It's not there. You look at the teams they've beaten. Providence stands out. Aside from that, nobody. Rhode Island was still a favorite in this game. Duquesne was the underdog, according to the books. According to a lot of people, thought Duquesne would lose this game. When you look at the records head to head, you'd think obviously Duquesne's an underdog in this one. But the Dukes got it done. Jay Corbett, double-double, 13 and 10. He was really solid. He's been an interesting character for the Dukes this year. He kind of looks how he looked at Chicago State. It's just a matter of Drew Joyce and his staff fitting together these pieces. Dave Dixon. I loved what Drew Joyce had to say about Dave Dixon. Listen to his post-game press conference. courtesy of our Zach Weiss on the PSN YouTube if you haven't already. Because Drew Joyce talked about Dave Dixon and how he came up to him. He came up to Joyce and said, "Look, I think we would be better as a team if I came off the bench." And that's what he did against Rhode Island. Dave came off the bench. He provided a spark. He finished lobs. He played good defense. He grabbed the ball and rebounded well. David Dixon, 10 points, almost, got the player of the week nod. He played really, really well, and it's really good to see for him, man, because he was a guy coming back. Like he's the guy who flew with Drew down to DC for A10 Media Day. Like this is a guy who was a centerpiece of this program, and I think it's important for him to build that confidence back up. It's important for the team to know that they have a couple different options down low. I mean, Eli, we know what Eli can do, and we know what he can become. Or I guess we don't know what he can become yet because it's really good. I mean, he's really talented, is what I was trying to say. But look, for Dave to become that centerpiece again and to be a big that you can rely on, I think is needed for Duquesne if they want to make another run at the A10. But man, that's what we saw against Rhode Island. It looked really good. Duquesne with a big win over the Rams. Tonight, January 2nd, we've got Duquesne women playing at VCU, 6 p.m. That'll kick us off. That's a massive one. VCU obviously was picked in the top 5 of that league, and Duquesne's coming off that loss that snapped their long winning streak to Davidson. So that's a big one for Dan Burt's squad tonight. After that, RMU men, Andy Toole's squad looks to continue their winning streak against Detroit Mercy, a road game, tough place to play. I don't know how the crowds are looking this year for the Titans, but I was in that gym this summer, as I said on the last show, and that place is gritty. That's a tough place to win a basketball game, very historic, old-time arena, so I can't wait to watch that game. Thank you guys for tuning in. Happy New Year.